As we honor Kevin Dean Kearney. I'm sure that you would like to join me in saying to his family, his parents Jim and Joyce, his wife Tracy, his sister Kim, his mother-in-law Ginny, his brother-in-law Larry, his nephew Gabriel, his fur babies Isis, Snowpaws, Hotsy, Batty, and his best friend Frankie, that you are in our thoughts because of your loss. We want to be available to you in any way possible as you face the journey of grief. Let me express the family's gratitude for your presence. The journey of grief is long, and those who walk it should not have to walk it alone. In times like these, nothing takes the place of friends. Your presence helps the family realize how valuable Kevin was to others and shows what an impact his living and dying has made. Our hearts are a little heavier since we mourn this loss of the remnants of the most popular season of Christmas and the start of the new year. Kevin's presence is deeply missed. However, his spirit was present in the sweetness of the Christmas cookies, the twinkling of the tree lights, and the sparkling of the champagne. We gather with heavy hearts nonetheless, a wide range of emotions, knowing that for us, Kevin was taken too soon. However, we gather with hope and love, knowing we will see him again, and are grateful for the opportunity to celebrate his life here today, with everyone he loved here physically present and present in spirit at the service. We honor a man who touched many lives. We will stop to hear his stories, admire his photographs, to laugh and cry together, to celebrate him in music and song, and to acknowledge that we are different because Kevin was here. Before we begin, let us take a few minutes to clear our minds of the worries of the day, to center our thoughts, and focus our hearts on memories of Kevin in a moment of silence. At this time, I'd like to call upon Terry White, who's going to share with us our first poem.
I give you this one thought to keep. I am with you still, I do not sleep. I am 1,000 winds that blow. I am the diamond glints on snow. I am sunlight on ripened grain. I am the gentle autumn rain. When you awake in a rush, when you awake in the morning's hush, I am the swift uplifting rush of quiet birds in circled flight. I am the soft stars that shine at night. Do not think of me as gone. I am with you still in each new dawn.
Thank you, Terry. I now would like to call upon Jessica McCann, who's going to share with us excerpts from Ecclesiastes.
To everything there is a season, a time for everything under the sun, a time to be born and a time to die, a time to laugh and a time to cry, a time to dance and a time to mourn, a time to seek and a time to let go. This is the time we remember one who gave meaning to our lives. This is the time we remember the bonds that tied us together, the love that we shared, and the memories that remain with us still.
Thank you, Jessica. We will now begin listening to the many wonderful stories of Kevin, shared through the eyes and the hearts of those who knew and who loved him best, his family members and friends. So at this time, To start, I'd like to call upon Christy Bacchus.
It is my privilege to say a few words about my brother-in-law, Kevin. Kevin was married to my sister Tracy for 17 years, and I was able to get to know him very well over those years. When he and Tracy began dating, it didn't take long for me to realize that Kevin was a very sincere person with a warm and caring heart. He loved Tracy, and she loved him. He will be greatly missed. Kevin was born in Pomona in 1963 to Jim and Joyce Kearney. He had one sibling, his sister Kim. Kevin was very close to Kim's son Gabriel and loved playing the role of uncle. Kevin was a tinkerer. He had a mechanical mind and a natural curiosity for how things worked. He put his mechanical prowess to good use, serving as an auto mechanic in his parents' shop and helping others with their vehicles as well. He had a number of interesting jobs throughout his life: auto mechanic, signing up asbestos-exposed workers for testing, working at a medical supply store, serving briefly as a butler, and finally managing the Bonita Terrace apartments here in Claremont, which he did up until his death. I mentioned earlier that Kevin was a tinkerer, but he also had a wide array of hobbies: photography, collecting watches, rare elements, and guns. He really enjoyed driving long distances. He also loved food, and some would say that food was his way of saying, "I love you." Similarly, he loved a wide variety of music, an eclectic mix, you might say, as it always surprised people the many types of music that he loved. What kind of person was he? He was what we sometimes call the quiet type, very much an introvert. He was caring and nurturing, a gentle soul if there ever was one. Perhaps the best evidence of this was his love for animals. Kevin loved all kinds of animals, but especially dogs. He and Tracy had a miniature pinscher named Beanie. She was his little girl, and he doted on her and took care of her, as well as Mom's four-legged children at every turn. And boy, did the dogs love him. Not just his dog, but any dog. Kevin was the dog tester at Bonita Terrace. If a dog did not like Kevin, it was not allowed to be a tenant, as there must be something really wrong with that animal. The last things I want to mention about Kevin are his intellect and his sense of humor. He was not the loud, life-of-the-party type, but he had a keen sense of humor, informed by his intelligence and knowledge about so many things. He liked to laugh at himself and make others laugh, and this was partially what made him a great conversationalist, despite his quiet nature. Kevin's death was sudden and unexpected. I want to express my condolences to the Kearney family and thank them for sharing Kevin with us. We are grateful for having known him and are heartbroken that he is gone so soon. May God's comfort surround you and Tracy and all of Kevin's family in these difficult days.
Thank you, Christy. I now would like to share some personal memories. First, from Kevin's nephew, Gabriel George. I had a lot of good memories of Kevin, especially when I was younger. Every time he came over, it was always a treat. From going on adventures to places I had never been, to building Legos or playing Xbox. There was always a fun activity to do together. He and I got along quite well, and it wasn't hard to see why. He was such a lively person, and always seemed to have a way of staying young at heart. I remember going on adventures with him to the mountains or the deserts, usually using his horribly faulty GPS he called Annabelle, that would more often than not take us somewhere we definitely didn't need to go. It didn't matter the destination, because no matter what, we would have fun on the journey. He liked Weird Al's music that always gave us something to bond over during car rides. And I'm glad to have had those times with him. To me, my uncle represents the childlike wonder, adventure, excitement, and spirit of fun that I think everyone should have in their lives. He always showed me a way to view the world differently, and I'll always remember him as the lively, spirited, compassionate man that he was. And now from Kevin's sister, Kim George. Dear Kevin, I can't believe I'm sitting here trying to write about some memories that hold very dear to me. There are so many. One fond memory I have of you was when I was 10 years old. It was December 1979. Star Trek, the motion picture, was playing at the theater near the Montclair Plaza. Dad dropped us off. That movie was much longer than we both had anticipated, and when we had got out, it was already dark. We walked home. On our way, we got close to Oak Park Cemetery. You wanted to go through the cemetery as it made a very nice shortcut. I was completely frightened to go through the cemetery in the dark. You really tried to convince me to take that shortcut, but I was not set on doing that. You told me that you would give me a piggyback ride, that I could shut my eyes, and that you would run through the cemetery to the other side without stopping. I remember that piggyback ride like it was practically yesterday. You ran until we were completely out of the cemetery. You kept your word. You ran until we were out at the other side. That was a fond memory. Another memory I hold dear is the day we went to look at kittens someone was seeking a home for. One of the kittens the person had planned on keeping for themselves came right up to you while the other kittens played amongst themselves. It was an instant bond with that little kitten that the owner saw, and so he told us to take her because she had picked us. We named her Agatha, and she was a sweet cat for our family. I remember family camping trips in our tent trailer, long car drives to get there, and how I found you loved root beer and I hated it. Later, as time went on, I remember many family gatherings and dinners. Dinner was always an interesting time. Somehow, something gross was always brought up, and you were usually the one who brought it up while we were eating. It seemed to become a family tradition. When Larry and I got married, you were there helping us make our special day just right. You were there at the hospital waiting for Gabriel to be born. You too bonded right away. I know you loved Gabriel, and Gabriel loved you. You were a fantastic uncle for Gabriel, and you took him on adventures he will always treasure. You came to be with me when I was in the ER with pneumonia. That really surprised me because suddenly you were there for me right in the ER. I didn't know how you got in to see me, but you were there. I remember you being concerned and telling me to breathe. You visited me several times, and you really cared. And the experiences we shared working for my parents at New Dimension Auto Concern, all the unique cars, wonderful customers, and the large temperature swings through the seasons. You came on camping trips with Larry, Gabriel, and me. Those were some very fun times. I wish we had many, many more. I thought you would be here longer, and that we would have more camping trips and family times together. I wish I had known that you were about to leave us all. You not being here doesn't seem real or right. I don't think I will ever get used to family gatherings without you. I bet when you passed away and looked in on me from heaven and saw me crying, it probably surprised you at just how much your passing affected me. Well, it did. Your favorite saying of, we put the fun in funeral isn't fun. I miss you, Kevin. I've had so many memories with you. You are my very first friend, and you will always be my big brother. I am sure you will be watching out for us all. Larry, Gabriel, and I sure miss you. We miss your funny jokes, your pouch of elements, trinkets, and whatever you decided to carry around with you that day. It was always interesting to see what you had in your pouch when we came over. You always showed us something interesting. You were like a kid, forever young in that way. We love you, and we'll miss you very much. To continue with our time of sharing, and now I'd like to call upon Michael Gorshaw.
But for those of us who knew Kevin from high school, well, Kevin always had a parka, and he always wore it. Almost never saw him take it off. And I was lucky I found an orange one that was a lot like his. He used to refer to it as the amorphous blob, and it went with him everywhere. That, his brown pouch, sometimes a backpack, but everywhere. He was wearing it when I met him, and almost every time I think of him, it's in the parka. Kevin was very rare and very unique. Most of us don't get to leave the world saying that we make it a better place, or that we made it a better place. And Kevin did. One of Kevin's greatest qualities, perhaps his biggest fault, was that if anybody he knew needed something, he would drop what he was doing, turn around, and come to help. Whether it was something super serious, or you couldn't figure out how to change a tire, Kevin was there. Kevin was usually the one that we all called when we lost somebody, we needed some help. This becomes very difficult for us. He's traveled a lot, as everybody's pointed out. Kevin loved to travel. We would go camping in the mountains, out in the desert, out at Calico, Randsburg. We used to go panning for gold. We used to do a whole bunch of things. We used to do some road trips. We used to call them insanity runs, and they would usually happen in the middle of the night when we'd go someplace to see what was there and get a cup of coffee. The reason we called them insanity runs wasn't that we were driving crazy distances at late hours, but Kevin always said that coffee made him insane. And we went to get a cup of coffee. Kevin always wore the parka. Didn't matter where we went. He used to keep everything in the parka. And as people pointed out, Kevin was all about food. Kevin was not going on any journey without supplies. And Kevin always had something in his pocket. Always. You would be, I recall one time we were way up 15, about halfway to Colorado. And Kevin looks at me and says, hamburger? And, I said, I'm sure we can find a place. And Kevin, as he would typically do, reached into his parka and went, hamburger. He wouldn't go on a journey without it. And on his last one, I remember it, Kevin. This is really hard. Kevin touched every one of us. There are a lot of people that aren't here that want to be. That are unfortunately in other parts of the world. This is a small representation of the lives of people Kevin's touched and Kevin's taken care of and helped. This is only a small gathering of his friends. One of the things in later years was a lot of us got too busy to see each other, to talk to each other. There'd be a lot of phone calls. Hey, we should get together, we should do this, we should do that. But we're always busy. Lives, family, work, other things. One of the things that we last talked about was getting together. Everybody, high school, everything, at some point this year. Kevin, this isn't what I had in mind, really. But Kevin always kept his word. And even if he couldn't be here, he made sure to get us together. And I think he wants us to stay together. We need to keep in touch. We need to talk to each other. We need to see each other more often because we don't know when something will happen. And that was one of the greatest things about Kevin. Everybody here that I know, everybody, Kevin brought us together. Everything went around. It's something I can't replace. My closest friends, my oldest friends, are all from Kevin. Now, sorry I can't go with him on his last journey, but because I do know that he's going to go to someplace interesting. There'll be some fun. There'll be a lot of things that happen. And when you see Agatha, scratch that for a ball's head for me, wait, please. I miss, can't remember anything of Agatha. As I always come and wait for Kevin to be standing outside. And Agatha would wander around to keep me company. I didn't expect to be this joint. I miss you, Kevin. This was too early. And I missed you for too long. I won't say goodbye, I'll just say see you on the other side. It'll be a while before I get there, but I'll see you on the other side. Say hi to everybody else that you lost. We're waiting.
Thank you, Mike. I now would like to call upon Robert Lloyd.
Met Kevin from junior high school. I was a library at the time. Then now I was a geek. He returned something that he checked out, but unlike what most pardon me, you're stepping on my eyeball or whatever. Kevin was checking out a film strip series on Atomic Energy. Kevin was like that. He was interested in absolutely everything, and he was interested in things that people his age should have been interested in. He was interested in it anyway. He knew more about metals than anybody I've ever known. He was one of the strongest people I've ever known. I remember one time I stopped by the shop to visit, and they were hoisting a large V8 engine out of a car. And a bolt slipped, and the engine started hanging like this, swinging. And people were very surprised and didn't know what to do. And scrambling for a jack to try to get it under the engine, get it back under control. Kevin walked up to the engine and lifted it up and pulled it up into position and said, "Get up, hold now." Which they did. Put the bolt back in, and the engine was back on the stand. He was the strongest person I've ever known in more ways than one. He had a nemesis in high school, a dude by the name of Tom. Could not stand the guy. Tom was one of the most annoying people ever born, I think. He was standing in a soup line in Pomona one time when he annoyed the wrong person, and that person put a sprinkler handle through his head. Kevin was at his bedside at the hospital within half an hour of hearing that. He couldn't stand the guy, but he went to go visit him. That's what Kevin was about. Kevin loved everybody he ran across, I think, and he touched everybody he ran across. And everybody who ever knew him is going to miss him. I know I will. Take care.
Thank you, Robert. And now I'd like to call upon Tom Farquhar.
I'm trying to think of something to add that hasn't been said already. I think to me the thing I think about is, you know, what people have said about how Kevin's an effort and how he's very caring. Well, for work, I travel quite a bit. I've been to over 40 states. I travel internationally. And reflecting since he passed, I just think about how there's never been somebody I've met that's just so backbreaking. Sorry, it's a lot harder than expected. And that really just means a lot to me. I think about all the people that I've met. It's one thing to say something kind. He's just so giving. And there's just a sense of wonderment. And, you know, he's such a good person. And he'd always be surprised at things. Like a few years ago, I got married. And he was like so amazed and honored that I was invited to live. I've known him for almost 30 years. Of course you're going to be there, but it was just that he never expected anything. He would always give, and he would just never take. And I think for me the biggest thing of anything was just, you know, again, I'm beginning over the shock of his passing, but just how much really affected. And I'm so glad to see the people that are here and hear some stories from Robert and Mike, who know him far better than I did. I'm really going to miss him. And just hate seeing things didn't really take him so soon. So sorry, but it's just, it's really just a hard thing to accept. Miss you, Kevin.
Thank you, Tom. And now I'd like to invite Kevin's wife, Tracy, to share with us her memories.
We all have two names. The name that we're born with, and the name that we are given by our family or friends. Sometimes it's a nickname, sometimes it's a title, sometimes it's something just jokingly. Kevin had a secret name. It was known to a few people that he trusted. They would chuckle about it, and then just kind of put it in the back of their minds. Kevin Dean Kearney, his secret name was His Imperial Gassiness, Catalyst Kevlor, Kronos I, ruler of Tangentia, an accidental destroyer of universes. This embodied who he was. A gentle person, a noble person, somebody who's very unexpected. The story behind that is that His Imperial Gassiness, Kevin was known for releasing, should I say, the most exotic barking spiders anyone has ever done. He was legendary. Tantalus, he identified as the person who, like the Greek myth, the king who was somehow punished by having his heart's desire right there, right within reach, but not quite. And he felt that way a lot. He never realized how much he has here, how much love that he had in return, just for simply being him. And ruler of Tangentia, when we first married, I was his translator. He was the type of person where you get into a conversation with him, and then 20 minutes later, you're wondering, how on earth did we get to this subject? And so I would be the one who would roll back the tape and finally, okay. That's one of the things that I will miss most about him, being his translator. And he was mine too. Often said the things I couldn't. And the accidental destroyer of universes comes from his unique way of looking at things. He always thought out of the box. The story comes from a role-playing game that he played when he was a teenager. And the mission involved the group came into a room, and the room was filled with cobwebs. And there was this old man in the center. And the DM of the game asked, "What do you do?" Well, Kevin says, "Well, I'm going to reach out and I'm going to test the strength of one of these cobwebs, see if it makes a sound." And so he did. And it broke. And it destroyed the universe and the game was over. Before it even began. And his stories were how he caught me. It was on the way to Las Vegas once that he told this wonderful story that he had made up about a ship that was sailing towards an ancient port. And the captain of the ship kept saying, "Yes, my lady. Of course, my lady." And the crew on the ship really didn't understand what was happening. And this was a story that he was telling to his friends, and his friends never understood that the ship was alive, and it was going on its final voyage to its home port like an elephant. It knew where to go. And all of a sudden, I looked down, and there was this imaginary arrow sticking out of my chest. And I'm like, oh no, this is not what I need. You will be missed, my love. You will be missed by so many. Good night, my lord.
Thank you, Tracy. I had the honor of meeting with Kevin's family at their home this past week to plan this beautiful service, and they did a wonderful job in putting all the components together. And I heard a lot of the stories that we shared here this evening. One of the things that I wanted to end with, and talking about Kevin's life, what he liked and what he believed in, was what Tracy had shared of how Kevin and I talked about reincarnation, and how she had shared that she wouldn't be surprised if Kevin was reincarnated into a wonderful dog. Yeah. So as you settle in this evening, for those of you who have your fur babies, hug your dog, your cat, whatever it is, a little tighter, knowing how fond Kevin was of animals. At this time, I'd like to call upon McKenna Boggs, who's going to share with us a wonderful quarantine journey.
We're living in a world of stars and dust, between heaven and all that surrounds us. We're travelers here, spirits passing through, and the love we give is all that will endure. Just like a rose after the rain, something beautiful remains. Tears will leave no stain, time will ease the pain. For every light that fades, something beautiful remains.
Thank you, McKenna. Let us now take a look at the many faces of Kevin and family and friends that he loves so well, in a slideshow provided by Lisa Hensley and Joel Lamar.
Listen, everyone, the time will come when all of us say goodbye. Feel that aching in your heart, leaving you broken inside. But we're never really gone, as long as there's a memory in your mind. So now go do the best things in life. Take a bite of this world while you can. Make the most of the rest of your life. Make a ride of this world while you can. Take the ones you love and hold them close, because there is little time. And don't let it break your heart. I know it feels hopeless sometimes, but they're never really gone, as long as there's a memory in your mind. So now go do the best things in life. Take a bite of this world while you can. Make the most of the rest of your life. Make a
Tell me, what does it look like in heaven? Is it peaceful? Is it free like they say? Does the sun shine bright forever? Have your fears and your pain gone away? 'Cause here on earth it feels like everything good is missing since you left. And here on earth everything's different. There's an emptiness. Oh, I hope you're dancing in the sky, and I hope you're singing in the angels' choir, and I hope the angels know what they have. I bet it's so nice up in heaven since you arrived. So tell me, what do you do in heaven? Are your days filled with love and light? Is there music? Is there art and adventure? Tell me, are you happy? Are you more alive? 'Cause here on earth it feels like everything good is missing since you left. And here on earth everything's different. There's an emptiness. Oh, I hope you're dancing in the sky, and I hope you're singing in the angels' choir, and I hope the angels know what they have. I bet it's so nice up in heaven since you arrived. Since you arrived. So nice up in heaven since you arrived. Since you arrived. Does it look like in heaven? Is it peaceful? Is it free like they say?
Okay, this one's for Gabby.
bluebirds fly.
dreams that you dream of, dreams really do come true. Ooh, someday you wish upon a star, wake up where the clouds are far behind me, where trouble melts like lemon drops high above the chimney top. That's where you find me, oh, somewhere over the rainbow. Bluebirds fly, and the dreams that you dare to, oh why can't I? Well, I see trees of green and red roses too. I watch them bloom for me and you, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Well, I see skies of blue and I see clouds of white and the brightness of day. I like the dark and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of people passing by. I see friends shaking hands, singing, how do you do? They really say, I love you. I hear babies cry and I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than we'll know, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Someday I wish upon a star, wake up where the clouds are far behind me, where trouble melts like a lemon drops high above the chimney top. That's where you find me, oh, somewhere over the rainbow, way up high. And the dreams that you dare to, why, oh why can't I?
The season of Christmas and the New Year is still around us. It is especially difficult to lose someone you love during these popular holidays when we are accustomed to having them close. Kevin is especially missed during this time, so please show your support for Kevin's family during this trying time. You are gathered here this evening as representatives of Kevin's life and the promise that you will carry his legacy and love with you as you go about your lives. In the weeks and the months to come, there will be waves of emotions that will hit at times of their own choosing. And throughout this first year of your grief, you will experience many firsts. There will be birthdays, family events, holidays. All of them will be the first time you have celebrated them without Kevin. These firsts may bring on waves of emotions that while they may bring sadness, they will also bring healing. For healing happens a little bit at a time, one storytelling at a time. Use all the opportunities to retell the story of Kevin. Tell the story over and over. Do not let it be forgotten. For we are never truly dead until we are forgotten. Friends that are here today with us, you have an important role to play in the grieving and healing process. Do not be afraid to mention Kevin's name to the family. Many times we think we should not mention a loved one to a family member because we might remind them of the loss. Well, that's silly. Kevin will be on their minds 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You cannot remind them of something that they are already thinking about. But you can by being willing to talk about it. Give them permission to share what is on their minds out loud. You do not have to have any great words of wisdom to share with them. You do not have to try to make their grief go away. All you need to do is listen. And that is the best gift of all. You are important to the healing process as the family works through turning the awful lake you feel now into beautiful memories of Kevin to cherish. We know that there are many more stories about Kevin. We've only scratched the surface. Each member of the family and each friend will have a story to tell. As you said, Mike, we don't say goodbye, we say it till we meet again. And we wish him a gentle journey as he leaves us. We will treasure and honor the gifts and gusto for life that Kevin so beautifully modeled for us. And now I'd like to call up John Boggins, who's going to share with us the prayer of St. Francis of Assisi.
Lord, make me an instrument of your peace. Where there is hatred, let me sow love. Where there is injury, pardon. Where there is doubt, faith. Where there is darkness, light. Where there is sadness, joy. O Divine Master, grant that I may not so much seek to be consoled as to console, to be understood as to understand, to be loved as to love. For it is in giving that we receive. It is in pardoning that we are pardoned. And it is in dying that we are born to eternal life.
We're going to close Kevin's service with a song called The Highwayman. As we come now to the end of Kevin's service, I ask that you please follow the directions of our service director, Asa, who will guide you in how you can come up and pay your last tribute to Kevin and to his family. The family would like to invite everyone here to a reception immediately following at the Claremont Center for Spiritual Living. And the address, I believe, is in the program, 519 South College here in Claremont. If you have any questions, please ask the staff or family member. Once again, on behalf of the family, thank you for your presence here this evening. God bless you.
Ladies and gentlemen, this does not conclude the services. On behalf of the family, we'd like to thank each and every one of you who came to show your support and love to them in their time of bereavement. On behalf of Mr. John Todd, the entire Todd Memorial Chapel, we hope that these services were services of dignity and services of distinction, and that you were satisfied in every respect. As you leave tonight, go with God, and God will certainly go with you. God bless you. Keep you our prayer. Those of you who would like to pay your final respects, we'll start from the rear of the chapel. You can pay your final respects and then go on the outside aisle here. We'll dismiss you row by row. So if you would just remain seated, I will come back and just dismiss you. And you can greet the wife and the family at this time. Thank you so much.
Here's the reception room that we rented. There was more people here earlier. Here's coming. I will get the other side of the table too. I'll get the other side too. Okay.
Every now and again he has to give something.
Now we're doing it.
You're so welcome.
We used to take our kids
that are on my.
Never got blood connection.
You want to come on also? Yeah, me too. What's your last name?
Oh, good.
Yeah, our last name's George.
Yeah, I'm Tim Tipping.
Oh my gosh, it's been forever, Tim. Yes. I know. Oh my gosh, how funny. Oh, funny. How funny.
It's all about
I'll get everybody. Darren. Hi.
Hope to see you soon.
Yes, definitely.
All right,
Darren.
Kevin's sitting at the table by himself.
That's funny to have Tim here. There's all the food. Thank you so much. There's Mom. Hi, Mom. Flowers for Kevin.
See you, mister.
Sister-in-law. Shay. And Gary and Keta, who drove how many miles? 380 miles to get here?
I don't remember. It was like 435.
Oh my God. Thank you guys so much.
Oh, you're welcome.
Oh my gosh.
It's a nice drive.
Yeah, this nice actually. It is pretty.
to break in our new car anyway.
Oh, good, good. Trying to get a video for everybody because there's people who couldn't make it today. So. Hi, Dad. It turned out great, didn't it? Turned out great, didn't it? Everything turned out great. It really did.
It always helps if you get along with it. It just makes life so much better.
Cutest thing I ever saw.
So Tracy's going around and serving everybody a Nutter Butter for Kevin. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I remember Nutter Butters at camping, yeah.
Nutter Butter.
Okay.